Oh, hello. Please. Hello again, blessed soul. I've been trying to boil the obstacles I set up down to their most basic essence. Good. Very good. Good cauldron. The problem beneath the problem. Here's what comes out. I've had enough glimpses, felt the openness of bliss, sweetness of deepest love, and profundity of silence to know of what you speak. I honor you in bringing this out. However, deep inside, I still feel outraged at the horror of this world. War, painful illness, devastation from nature, the vicious food chain, babies dying, and all the rest. And I'm sorry, but does truth make up for all of this horror? Is it so divine that we are just supposed to forget all the sadness as if it were nothing, all the suffering as if it never existed? Do we really have that right? Who do we think we are? A baby bird fell out of its nest, which sits in my windowsill. It will probably be dead when I get back, having been abandoned by its mother. That alone is enough to break the heart of the whole world. Yes, I agree. I agree. So the question is, are you willing for your heart to really be broken?
Yes.
Yes, and if you're willing for your heart to be broken of this baby bird, or of the wars that are going on all over the planet, and in households all over the planet, rich and poor, and in the food chain, everything being eaten by everything else. Who knows what's eating us? Lots. And babies dying. Yes, if you're willing for your heart to be broken, then you will experience it even more. You will see that you had closed off because it seemed so overwhelming that you couldn't feel it, so you closed off. You couldn't bear your heart being broken. But I encourage you to let your heart be broken. Waking up to yourself has nothing to do with forgetting the suffering of others as if it never existed. This is a tactic that gets used by the mind when it hears the teaching of all is one, and finally there is no sufferer. So the mind takes that and goes, oh, then that suffering that's happening over there, or this suffering that's happening in here, doesn't really exist. Therefore, I'll forget it. This is no good. This makes for coldness and numbness. It gives spiritual investigation a bad name. So are you willing to investigate the very root of your outrage?
Yes, I thought I had done that, and I found more outrage.
Yes, that's right. One thinks one has done that because there's been an experience of outrage. But in the willingness to really go all the way into the outrage with your consciousness. Because outrage is a kind of anger going out, right? So if you experience that anger without acting it out, without doing something in that outrage, and without repressing it, without doing something, pushing something in, you really just experience the huge anger at the way the world is, at the way things are. What do you find underneath it?
The next paragraph.
Oh. So if there's a cosmic joke here, I don't find it amusing. Most jokes have an element of cruelty to them, and this one seems to be no exception. The joke is what you find when you experience the outrage? Keep reading. The bliss is beautiful and sublime, but the despair The despair is under the outrage? Yes. So outrage is actually, relatively speaking, superficial. Under the outrage is a profound despair at the endless cruelty of this, whatever we call it, world, Leela, self, truth, manifestation, illusion, whatever it's called, endless cruelty. Everywhere you look, there's cruelty. I have some quail family in our place where we live in Stinson Beach, and I don't know if you've seen quail families. They're very family-oriented. And they prefer to walk rather than fly, so you get to see them a lot. And the babies are this big. They are tiny. They are so precious, and the father and the mother, around their babies, and their babies around. And I was walking in the yard, and I saw them, and I just stopped, and they were so precious. And then I realized that my cat was with me, and he saw them too. And we were both looking at him, and I said, I'm going to get the cat, so he's not going to get these babies. But I reached down to get this cat, and of course he felt that too, and there was this force that was bigger than this cat loving me and wanting to please me. And he caught a baby. The next I saw of those quails was like half of a quail. Little cute, little precious baby. Well, this is what happens everywhere, coming and going. This is what happens. Right now, on your body, you are being eaten by who knows how many species. We know a lot that have been discovered of the bacteria and the fungus, and whole colonies are thriving on your dead and alive flesh. And we do something to take care of it, and that allows a whole nother colony to thrive. Just like I'm happy when the cat actually kills a rat, and sad when he kills a bird. But hey, his very instinct to kill that bird is what makes him go for the rat. Although the rats are as big as he is, so he doesn't usually go for them. So this is something everyone has to see at a certain point. This huge nature theater is relentless. Is relentless. I read this fact in the San Francisco Chronicle that they think there are only something like, this could be too many, like 50 quail families left in Golden Gate Park because of the feral cats that have escaped, and they decimate them. So I know that then the theories, and we'll bring something in to get the cats. In Hawaii, they brought mongoose in to get the rats. Never really checking it out, it turns out that the mongoose goes around at night and the rats go around in the daytime, so the mongoose just got all the baby birds that were nesting the baby eggs. And now Hawaii is filled with mongoose. So this is what comes with trying to fix it. As we know, we can look at how one generation tries to fix what's wrong or off in the other generation, having not a clue of what's wrong or off in their generation, until the next generation comes and points it out. How could you be so blind, so stupid? Look what you've been doing. Lots of very good people actually kept slaves. Didn't have a clue how inhumane that was, how cruel that was, how horrible that was. Didn't have a clue. This is what we're in. Now what? I don't ever say to forget it. I don't ever say to numb yourself or distance yourself or say, it's not really happening. You never hear that from me. I invite you to let your heart break deeper than it's ever been broken, to break wide open so that it can see even more of what's going on, and then break even deeper. And if you get to this point of despair, then I invite you, as I invited the woman this morning, to allow your consciousness to fall into the core of this despair. Now, as we sit here, the very core of the despair, this is the one that's avoided. It's avoided more than the outrage, more than the judgment, the despair of it all. And to meet that means having to let go of any story of despair, just simply to meet it.
Can't throw it in the fire.
I beg your pardon?
Can't seem to throw it in the fire.
I don't want you to throw it in the fire. I don't want you to get rid of the despair. Just like I don't want you to get rid of your broken heart. Despair has a bad name, I know, and it feels really bad. But when it is met, really met, not to get rid of it, but to meet it, to discover what is it at the core of it, then despair itself is a treasure. It's not a superficial, shiny treasure. It's a treasure from the depths, from nothingness itself. So as you sit here, are you in touch with the despair?
Yes.
Are you willing to actually be more in touch with it?
I can't take it any further.
I beg your pardon?
I can't take it any further.
This is the mind. I can't take it any further. Right?
Probably.
Open your heart.
You said we could keep it closed this morning.
That was this morning.
There's great love there. There's great love there.
There's great love there. Are you willing for this paradox?
It's what?
Paradox.
Am I willing for the paradox to do what?
To have you. Are you willing to not be able to figure it out and to resolve it and to put it in its neat places, either remember or forget, exist or doesn't get? It's either cruelty or love. What if it's cruelty and love? What if it is despair and great bliss?
It's a huge disappointment then.
Oh, not in my experience. Huge disappointment. What are you disappointed in?
I wanted it all to be bliss.
And that's the despair, isn't it?
Yes.
But when you are willing to meet the despair that you didn't want to be there, but you're willing to meet it because it's here, well, you just discovered it is bliss. But then you go, oh, but I didn't want to get it that way.
That's right.
I wanted it to be this way.
That's right.
That's too bad. If you could have it be ordered the way you would want it ordered, then cats wouldn't eat baby quails, and we wouldn't eat cows, and cows wouldn't eat grass, and what? Bacteria wouldn't live, fungus wouldn't live, and if bacteria and fungus don't live, there's no life on the planet. There's no grass, there are no flowers, there are no birds. You just don't want the poop. You want the beautiful salad, all the greens, the flowers. And that's what makes you sick.
This is the only way it could have been.
I don't know that, but it's the way it is.
Yes.
And in your resistance to the way it is, you overlook what is not diminished by its opposite. You know, it's a subtle, you're demonstrating subtle spiritual fascism. Isn't that shocking? Somebody as genteel and as sattvic as you is a fascist at heart.
Yes. I know.
Get that despair out, send that despair to a camp to be fixed up so that it only presents itself as bliss. Because bliss, I like bliss, it feels good, it makes me happy. But despair, I don't like it. It looks bad, it doesn't look the way I want, out of my sight. This is fascism. And it's very deep. So I'm asking you, are you willing to invite despair to your table, to your heart? That which you have hated, that which you have sent away. Are you willing to see that all of the hating it, all the sending away, doesn't get rid of it? Are you willing to say, well, come in, let me meet you as who you are? This is finally what the recovered fascist has to do. Fascist recovery group. We could. That would be good. That's a good idea, isn't it, Brandon? Fascist recovery group. But most people don't want to be recovered from their fascism because there's a sense of righteousness. Well, I'm on the side of bliss, and I don't want despair to be here. Well, maybe God created despair, but it was a mistake and a bad joke, and I don't get it.
Right.
Yes.
That's right. And I have to get off it.
Yeah. You don't have to. You can stay like this forever and ever. And you can pass it on. And then you are in alignment with the outrage. You're in alignment with the outrage. It feels good to be in alignment with outrage, and it's even appropriate at certain moments. But if you can be in alignment with what you discover is at the core of every emotion that appears, the whole spectrum, bliss to despair, and everything in between, the small ones, the big ones, what is at the core of it all? If you can be in alignment with that, you are in alignment then, because that's yourself. And it includes it all. Nothing is excluded. Fortunately, nothing is excluded.
You have to actually give it up before you get it, right? Before you understand it.
What do you
That's
mean,
the
give
trick.
what up?
You have to get off it. You have to give up that judgment before you get it.
No, not really. You have to be willing to experience all the way what it is you're experiencing partially. So there's judgment. You say judgment, but judgment is like it's a keeping something away and hating something. So really, judgment has hate at its. Judgment's a nice word for hate, isn't it? So you'd be willing to experience the hate all the way, and you'll see the hate is like the outrage. It's actually pretty superficial. It's covering this deeper despair. So when you're willing to then experience the deepest despair without dramatizing it, and listen, if you have some biochemical malfunction, get medicine for it. I'm not speaking about that. I'm speaking of this perpetuation of this, I want the world ordered like this, and it's not ordered like this, and therefore I am in despair. Yep, you have to get off it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I wish you good luck.